Hello lovebirds, welcome back to my IGTV. In today's video, I'm gonna walk you through one of my go-to daily looks. It's been quite a while since I've done just a day makeup, so I thought it would be a good idea to walk you guys through it. So let's start off with skincare. First up, I'm gonna use a vitamin C serum by Jouer Cosmetics. This is the brand from Miranda Kerr, and as you guys know, I am a sucker for a vitamin C serum. Next up, I'm going to use the Henriksen Vitamin C Rush Brightening Gel Cream. I'm just going to apply that all over the face. Now, I leave this on for a little bit to seep into the skin, make sure that it's all sucked up nice and beautifully before I continue with makeup. Now, you guys know I have multiple favorites of everything, so I'm just going to grab some of the products that I use on a really regular basis. So for foundation, I'm going to go in with the Clinique Even Better Glow Foundation in Ivory. And I'm going to apply it with a buffing brush. Now, this brush is by Jouer Cosmetics. It's really old. I think it must be 7 years old. And it's the 102 Silk Finish. I don't know, the lettering has come off, so I can't really tell anymore. I apply a little dab on my hand and just apply it all over the face. Alright, next product is the Jouer Cosmetics Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer in the colour Wheat. And this is one of those go-to concealers because 1, it is super high coverage, and 2, it doesn't leave my skin patchy and dry throughout the day because it has hyaluronic acid in it. Now, because I showed you guys this the other day, I am so extremely dry and hardly have any sebum production. I need something with a little bit of moisture in it to, you know, keep it looking snazzy throughout the day. And as you can see, it really, really hides any of my imperfections, which is all I ask of a concealer. Now, you guys know me, I have under eye ridges, so one of the things I love to do is grab a white concealer. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer Cream, and I think this is called White Out. And I use a little bit of that white to lift up certain areas. So I mix it into whatever is left of my Jouer Cosmetics and dab it onto the ridges of the under eye area. Alright, so for contouring, I have one of those holy grail products, which is the Amber Stick by Fenty Cosmetics, and I use this for a light contour. One of the reasons this works so well with a lighter skin tone is because it has an ashy undertone, so you can easily blend it into your foundation and it really mimics a shadow, not a bronzy contour. Now, whatever is left on the brush, I take it up here, because I don't want to do too much. And for the nose area, it's quite simple with me. I already have quite a small nose, so I don't want to really change the shape. I just want to change the way the light hits it. So now I've put concealer on it, which makes it flatter and broader. So I'm just gonna pop that right in there and go in with my finger to blend that out. I usually take it to halfway and then softly blend that up, not all the way to the top, because it's just the tip of the nose that I want to define, not change or whatever. Alright, let's go in with powder. Now, because I am so specific about the colours of my concealer, I like to go in with a translucent powder, and still one of my favourites is the RCMA No Colour Powder, because it mattifies like no other. It sets your concealer really, really well without adding any colour to it. I'd like to leave the cheekbone area quite shiny and glowy. It won't travel throughout the day with me, again because I am that dry, so I just leave it for what it is. Now, also by setting just the T-zone of the face, it leaves me the opportunity of working on the cheekbone some extra. So I'm going in with a matchstick in Ridiiic, which is a beautiful blush color. It just always looks fresh and beautiful. So I just grab a little bit onto my brush because it is pigmented, it is potent, and I just go in and add a little bit of that flush on the cheekbones. Then, to accentuate the cheekbones, I'm going to go in with a highlighter, and it's the Beauty Light Wand in Spotlight by Charlotte Tilbury. Just press a little bit onto the high point of the cheekbones. You just see how beautiful that catches the light. With whatever is left on my fingers, I just add a little bit to the bridge of the nose. Maybe a tiny hint on the cupid's bow and tip of the chin. Then this part is one of my favorites. I love to accentuate the brow bone, but I usually go in above the brow bone to accentuate the skull again. Alright, it's time for the eye area. So we're in like 10 minutes real time, 15 minutes film time. So that's going quite alright. I'm just gonna grab onto a blending brush, and this is one of my favorites, is the 01 from Jouer Cosmetics. Just gonna grab onto this taupey shade from the Backstage palette. It's a custom eye palette by Dior. I'm just gonna apply that all over the lid. We don't have to make it more difficult than it really is. I usually take it above the crease because I do have a little bit of a hooded eye. I don't want to lose any of that colour once I look someone straight into the face. Now I'm going to apply that same shade right on the lower lash line. I'm not going to go in with a smaller brush because I want it to be nice and diffused. I don't want it to be a harsh line at all. And this is also why I hardly ever take the concealer up to the lash line, because that little bit of discoloration underneath the eye can help you shape your eye shape. Alright, to accentuate the brow bone, I'm going to go in with that white, and it is slightly pearly, so it will turn out as a slight shimmer, which can make a beautiful transition into that temple highlight. Alright, now I want to accentuate the outer corners of the eyes because I do have a little bit of that Labrador effect. So I'm going in with that brownish shade and just warm up the outer corners. There you go. Now, in all honesty, I'm too lazy to do an eyeliner every day. So what I usually do is I grab a angled brush. This one is the number 9 by Cosette. I grab onto that black shade and I just pop a little bit of black onto that lash line to make it appear a little bit more almond without having to do all the work of a liquid eyeliner. That's about it. Curling my lashes, applying mascara. As you can see, I always curl my lashes in several steps, so I get it from base to tip, curly perfection. Alright, I'm going in with the YSL The Shock Mascara, and this is quite an old one, and it is for a reason. Now, the older mascaras tend to dry a little bit quicker once they are on the lashes, and I feel like I can create more of that fluffy effect with a drier mascara because it doesn't push on so much product at once. You can create this beautiful natural looking fluffy lash. Because, you know, in a day-to-day makeup, I don't want to do a false lash effect. It's uncomfortable. For lips, these are two of those products that are constantly in my kit. Now, you can see the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner has gone down quite a lot. It is the Pillow Talk, and it is so close to my natural lip color that I can actually fake a fuller lip, or at least fill in that pigment line. Now, some of us do have the fullness in our lips, but we don't have the pigmentation. So for me, that ends up looking like a white line along the top lip. Now, that is part of your lip and you can fill it in. And most of us tend to draw where the pigmentation is, but that white discolored line is part of your lip. Now, my lip is slightly crooked. I know everyone's gonna laugh the moment they hear me say this, but this part of my lip is a little bit more flat, this part is a little bit more round, this part is a little bit more flat, and this part is a little bit more round. So if I want to even everything out, I want to draw this on a little bit rounder and this on a little bit rounder, so it looks a little bit more level and a little bit more symmetrical. Now, if you want to create the illusion of a more fuller lip, you can just fill in that little part in between your cupid bow. I have really dry lips, so I need to make sure that my lips stay nicely moisturized throughout the day. So I usually go in with the Jouer Cosmetics Peony lipstick, which is like more of a lip balm with color. So I'm just gonna apply that. And I have to say that I'm more a fan of hydrating, slightly shiny lipsticks at the moment than the drier ones. Right, lastly, brows. For brows, I'm going in with this brow pencil by the Browgal, and it is the color medium brown, which is number 4. It has a brush on one end and the pencil on the other end, but the pencil cap is also a sharpener, so you can make sure it always has that really sharp, pointy tip, which is important for me if I'm doing my brows. Now, if I have something like a shoot, I go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow because I want to create the brow strokes. But for day to day, I just go in with the pencil. Try not to do too much, but just fill in parts where I feel there's a little bit of a gap. Now, most importantly, to create a feathery, bushy brow is you need a brow gel. Now, I tend to go in with a clear brow gel again. It slightly sharpens my brow hairs and it puts them in place for until I reach the shower or hit some water. Now, I tend to brush the brow hairs up until the formula turns a little bit more tacky. When it starts turning tacky, you can decide to brush the outer edges downwards, so it's more of a rounder shape, which I quite like. Once I feel like my face is on, I go in with a setting spray, and I try to use a hydrating setting spray again because my skin is so dry. So this is the Primer Water Set and Refresh Spray by Smashbox. And I feel like finishing with a setting spray just melts everything beautifully together. Make sure there are no dry patches on the skin, that the powder isn't visible. Before we finish, I've got one final addition, which is the Chanel Balm Essential in the color Sculpting. Now, this is one of those products that will give you that ultimate healthy, beautiful glow. So we've also used the Charlotte Tilbury. We're going to pop this on top. I'm just going to grab a little bit with my fingers, distribute it over the palm of my hand, and tap it onto that high part. And this will give you that illusion of real skin, not a sparkly highlighter. And the beauty about this product is it doesn't move. It doesn't move throughout the day, and it doesn't accentuate the structure and the texture of the skin as much as a powder highlighter would. So this was it. This is my quite daily makeup. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, please pop them down below. I'll put all the products up here in the description somewhere. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!